Hello again, RC boat enthusiasts. My name is David. Today's video we are going to talk about a boat that's been on the market for a couple of years, and that is the Volantex Atomic XS. Now it's a 10-inch boat roughly, about 3.5 inches wide, 10 inches long, and I like the boat very much. In fact, I liked it so much I bought two of them. This particular model that I have is what they call the red model, red and black. It's actually orange with red accents. It's not a true red. But what I want to do is I want to share some of my findings on this boat and why I like it so much. First reason is the hatch. Now the hatch on this boat is fully sealed. It comes with a rubber seal that goes around the base of the hatch all the way around the perimeter, and it fully seals the boat when it is underway. In fact, it seals it so well when I am done with the boat, I run it under some hose water and completely remove any algae off the boat from where I run it, and it cleans it completely good, and I have no water inside the boat. I think that's a really plus feature of this boat. Number two reason that I like this boat is the let's see, I'm looking at a list of things I want to talk about. Is the runtime. The runtime on this boat is approximately 13 minutes when I received it, and I thought that runtime was pretty good. You get two batteries with this boat. In fact, I will discuss the price. The price of this boat is $45 on sale, and it comes with two batteries and a USB charger. Now I was getting 13-minute run times, and I thought that was satisfactory, but I have almost doubled the run time, and I'm going to explain why a little bit later in the video. So the second thing I want to talk about on this boat is the water pickup. The water pickup on this boat is on the bottom of the hull. There's a hole here with a little scoop. It scoops the water up, and it exits the water out. If I can twist my fingers around, it exits the water out of this hole, out of the side of the hull. And that is utilizing cooling principles for the electric motor. Now the electric motor on this boat is a 180 size brushed electric motor. Put this over here a little bit closer to the camera. And what you can see here is there's a tube that is picked up here at the bottom of the boat. It circulates through the motor, through this tab, and then exits out the side. Now this tab is actually the motor clamp that clamps the motor into place, and it has a big metal shield here on top that picks up the heat and helps displace it through the water and exits heat out the side of the boat. So other things I would like to talk about on this boat is the shaft is made out of 3/16 stainless. The composite on the boat's material is the hull, I believe, is ABS. The rudder and strut assembly is all, it looks like a fiber-filled composite of some plastic, and probably a fiberglass filled composite. The other things to note on this boat is the servo on this boat is a 9-ounce torque servo, and it performs quite well. It has a safety feature here, so if you do jam the rudder system, it will bend here, and that will prevent any servo damage right there. So that is also a good feature that they added to this boat. Let me see. Let me look at other things here. I've got something that you'll need to do when running this boat, since it does come with two batteries. My advice would be to run those two batteries the first time to break the motor in, and do some high and low speed running. Don't just go all out, because you could damage the motor and you won't get its maximum capabilities. Brush motors do need to be broken in, and usually 2 battery packs is enough to break them in high and low speeds. Let's see. So, other things that I did to this boat is the battery sits here in this area. Actually, it sits between here and back here, this tab. If you note, there's a tab right here. There was also one right here in the middle of the boat. I removed that tab. And the reason I did is so I could take the battery from this point here and move it to this point here. And what that does for me, it eliminates most of the porpoising that this boat encountered. A lot of people didn't like it because it porpoised a lot. Well, the weight is back here. That's mostly why. If you move the weight up further, you pretty much eliminate most of the porpoising. So I don't have really the problem with porpoising on this boat as much as I did when I first got it. So that was one of the tips I wanted to share. One of the other things that I would like to share is my motor torque adjustment. So this boat, as I was saying, I was getting about 13-minute run times, and that was consistent between both batteries. But I found out that the motor was over torqued. And what I mean by that is these 2 screws right here under this plug, these 2 screws that hold the motor bracket in place, are torqued too heavily. And so what I did is I took the radio and I put it on full trigger, and I backed off the ATV so it was running about 1/4 throttle and just let it run. And when I did that, I took my screwdriver and loosened these 2 screws. When I loosened the 2 screws, the motor RPMs increased drastically. I'm talking drastically. And so after I did that, while the motor was running, I tightened the screws back up just enough to hear the motor change in speed, and then I backed it off just a little bit. Now what that actually did for me, this is the interesting part. It changed my run time from 13 minutes to 20 to 23 minutes per battery. That is consistent. The other thing is it claims that it does 20 miles an hour, and I was lucky to get 12 to 13 miles an hour out of the box. Right now, I get the true 20 miles an hour plus. Now, I believe it truly is that because speed has drastically changed on this boat just by loosening these up. Now, when you do that, you're thinking, well, the motor's just going to be sitting in here kind of sloppily. Believe it or not, it doesn't. It actually sits in here very snug. It's not going to move around. It's not going anywhere, but you're not bogging the motor down on this coupler. This coupler is like a dog bone coupler that, to the motor shaft. It doesn't have a standard collet, and it was binding in here, and you could feel it through the prop. When it spun, those dog bones, the little ears would get, they would bind on the sidewall of this collar. So after loosening all that up, loosening the motor up, it didn't do that anymore. And I also spray the inside of this periodically after so many runs with just some spray silicone lube, just on the inside, just to keep things well lubricated, as well as putting a drop of oil on this bushing and this bushing back here periodically, just to keep things lubed up. So let's see what else I have. I've talked about battery torque. Let's see, low and high speed adjustments. That's pretty much sums it up for this boat. This boat is a lot of fun. I have it out in some of the most choppiest weather or choppiest water in the river, and it performs quite well. I have yet to flip it, and I like the boat. I like it a lot. I purchased this boat from X Hobby. I had really good luck purchasing this boat through them. Awesome company, and I would highly recommend them. So if you're interested in an entry-level boat and you just want to get started, or just to go out and have fun without taking a lot of gear out with you, I would recommend this one. It's definitely a fun boat. And anyways, that's pretty much all I have about this boat. So I'm out.